Hello again, everyone. This is the KMN 1971 back with my weekly comic book haul. Starting off this week, Wonder Woman #7, an awesome Jenny Friesen cover, I believe her name is. She was the cover artist that ended up replacing Frank Cho because Greg Rucka thought his Wonder Woman was a little bit too sexist, which I didn't think at all. He just drew Wonder Woman thick, like an Amazon would be, I guess. But Jenny Friesen is picked up the torch and ran with it. She just draws Diana beautifully. So I didn't pick up this book, but I work better with visual aids. I went to go see Wonder Woman last night, and a little quick non-spoilery opinions on the movie. I thought it was good. As far as superhero origin stories go, it was great. I mean, really good. The action sequences were done well. The cinematography was done well, acted out very well. Gal Gadot has gone from movie star status to I believe, superstar status. She is going to be Wonder Woman for a generation of kids. So another thing I picked up, there were a lot of women of all ages in the audience, which I thought was fantastic. It's great for the genre. It's great for comic books. It's great for everybody. The supporting cast was great. Chris Pine did a great job with Steve Trevor, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, the only criticisms that I could levy against it, I guess, which are very minor, would be that critics have labeled this as the first movie that the DC extended universe has ended up getting right, and I tend to disagree about that. I'm still in that camp of I like Batman versus Superman, and so far, while it's not perfect, I think was the best movie so far out of the DC extended universe. Wonder Woman, I put shoulder to shoulder with Man of Steel, which are also, both of them are origin stories, which are kind of the most difficult superhero movies to put out there to get through the origin story into the main plot and the action. But I would put it above Suicide Squad. No problems there whatsoever. So, good movie. And the only other criticism I would levy against it is the end battle with the big bad at the end. I won't give away too much, but it was a CGI fest, which I don't mind, but I thought the CGI could have been a little bit better for it. And basically, the dialogue for the big bad was generic villain dialogue 101 that we have seen over and over and over again, whether it be in comics or comic book adaptations in the movies. But other than that, I would give it a thumbs up. It was a good time, and if you have some time on your hands, get out there and go see Wonder Woman. I mean, what else are you going to do? Spider-Man Homecoming doesn't come out until the first week of July, so do it. You know you want to. Okay, getting on to the actual haul. For current stuff, I will just show Batman #24. This is the B cover, and the significance of this book, if you have not heard yet, spoiler, if you haven't read the book yet, fast forward through this part. Batman finally, well, Bruce Wayne finally pops the question to Selina Kyle and asks her to marry him, which is pretty damn cool. Who knows if they'll go through with it or not? But this book is on the hot side. I ended up unliking CBR on my Facebook account just because they spoiled this for me right in the headline. I mean, it's okay if you're going to write an article with spoilers, but if you put the spoiler right in the headline that's on my live feed the day before the comic book actually comes out, that is just a douche move, douche clickbait, douchebaggery. So they are unliked. And if anyone can suggest a good comic book site for me to go to for my info, that would be really great. I already go to IGN, Bleeding Cool, CBSI, but I'm looking for more of a site that deals with more of the stories and the creators and the fandom bases. It seems like speculation is basically just taken over comics. And while that's cool, it'll always be an aspect of the hobby. I would like to focus on a site that's more about the nuts and bolts, the creators, the stories, the characters. So if anyone could recommend me a site like that, that would be great. Anyway, back to Batman #24. This book sold out. I would recommend getting the B cover. Batman has been a regular staple on my pull list for years now, and since Rebirth, I've been pulling the B covers because Tim Sale is one of my top 10 favorite Batman artists. So this issue sold out. They are already reprinting cover A, and which would be another reason to pick up cover B, because the cover Bs are never reprinted so far. So there you go. One of my local comic book shops, as of New Comic Book Day, kind of revamped their dollar bins. And while I didn't get anything monumentous, I did get some good filler stuff. So it's not as good as last year. Last year I was picking up some great Copper Age X-Men, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Conan, and while there's no really good Copper Age stuff, and the stuff that is in there is pretty beat up, they did have some pretty good Modern Age stuff. So Aquaman number 19. This is the first appearance of, I forgot the name of the villain, but a villain that Dolph Lundgren is going to be playing in the upcoming Aquaman movie next year. Something that I wasn't really looking for, but for $1, why not? And they also had a nice little run of the second X-Force series that starred X-23 that I've been picking up also as of lately. So, X-Force number 7. Number 14, Variant Edition. Number 15. Number 18. I really like that cover. And number 28. And to finish off the X-Men centric part of the video, we have the Incredible Hulk and Wolverine, which reprints Incredible Hulk 180, 181, and some abstract Wolverine and Hercules backup story from, I don't even know where they ended up getting it from, where it's Wolverine and Hercules in a bar. But as a Wolverine fan, I had to own this. This is another one of those weird books. I mean, you can find this in the dollar bin somewhere, or you can end up paying $10 to $15 for it. It's just one of those books in the weird zone. I ended up paying in between. Alright, moving on. I haven't shown any Punisher stuff in a while. This is Punisher Warzone number 1, second print variant. I have this entire miniseries of all the first prints, and I believe they only came out with the second print for the first issue. The reason I picked this up is over a year ago I was reading on CBSI that this second print is extremely rare and hard to find. So I ended up picking actually 2 of these up for like $3 a piece at one of my comic book shops. And I don't know if it goes for anything. It's one of the, once again, another one of those weird books. When people do list it on eBay, they try to list it for like $40 or whatever. But yeah, I can't find any sold listings to really verify how much this book goes for. But as a Punisher fan, a rare Punisher book, I want it. I have stated before that I like music in all, many different forms. I can't say all forms, but, you know, rock and roll, punk, reggae, ska, rap, love it all. But at the very top of my pyramid is Led Zeppelin, classic rock. One of my older cousins got me into Led Zeppelin when I was probably, I don't know, between the ages of 10 and 12, and Led Zeppelin, along with comic books, is one of the few constants in my life that my opinion hasn't changed since I was 12 years old. If you ask me if I am pro comic books and pro Led Zeppelin at 12, the answer is going to be yes. The same as it would be now at 45. Yes, I still love comics. Yes, I still love Led Zeppelin. And I realize now that rock and roll isn't all that. It seems like, this is my old man rant, by the way, it seems like pop music has permeated through everything. If you listen to country, it's pop country. If you listen to rock, it's kind of pop rock now. Rap, pop rap. So it's just, it doesn't seem like a lot of the younger people are listening to straight up rock and roll anymore. And even not, I'm not even talking classic rock and roll, I'm talking modern rock and roll. A lot of the young indie bands that I was listening to have already, a majority of them have already broken up already. So, and MTV, as of like 2 years ago, was for the first time, even though I haven't watched the show, the Video Music Awards, they don't even air a segment for Best Rock Video anymore. They, if you wanted to see it, you had to see that segment online, which tells me rock and roll doesn't sell to advertisers, and if it doesn't sell to advertisers, that means it's not selling to the consumers. So, it is what it is. But, like my channel is a small niche channel, I still like small niche things like classic rock. So there you go. Led Zeppelin, baby. Book isn't worth anything. But as I've said before, I like it when pop culture and comic books intermingle. Anyway, long point over. Total Eclipse, Book 4. What's the deal with this? I saw this in a Howler Mouse video probably several months ago, and being a big Miracle Man fan, I had to pick it up because this is the first time that Neil Gaiman ever penned a Miracle Man story. So, pretty cool. Have a little bit of a Batgirl run. Batgirl. Well, actually, Legends of the DC Universe featuring Batgirl. This little two-parter deals with how Batman came to train Barbara Gordon, and it also shines light, or rather a realistic light, on how the Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, Batgirl dynamic worked. And it was really cool. I liked it. I thought it was a good story. The main draw is... this is a Barbara Gordon story drawn by Terry Dodson. So who wouldn't want to see a Batgirl story drawn by Terry Dodson, right? And these books are dirt cheap. So Legends of the DC Universe number 10 and number 11. Cool little two-parter. And while I was also scoping out some Batgirl issues, this was a series that I never really collected, and I don't own many Batgirl issues at all. I really didn't own any Batgirl issues until the New 52, to be honest. So, actually, that's a lie. I did own a couple of Cassandra Cain volume issues. So, but I never owned anything from this volume, and I always found these Phil Noto covers appealing. So, for cover price minus 20%, why not? Batgirl number 1. Very cool full Phil Noto cover, as is this one. Number 2. And I've been picking these up when I can too, the Germ Batgirl covers. Batgirl number 9. Number 10, my personal favorite out of this little batch. And number 11. So I still need number 12 and whatever issue it is with the Germ Batgirl and Supergirl cover. So other than that, I'll have them all. And I'm looking forward to reading this. I've never really read any Batgirl with Stephanie Brown under the cowl, so it'll be cool. Zatanna Special, number 1 from the 1980s. I want to say that this is the first Zatanna solo title. I know she's had her own solo stories before in other comics, but I want to say this is her first solo title. It doesn't go for much, or if anything, but I like little geek factoids, historical factoids like that, the first time a character gets their own title. So, there you go. Along the same vein, Catwoman number 1 from her miniseries from the 1980s. This is one of those few examples of the grim and gritty makeovers that DC was doing during the 1980s that I actually never got around to reading, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. I know Catwoman's first solo story was in an issue of Batman in a backup story, which I already own, but I want to say this is the first time that Catwoman had her own title, which I think is significant. Little Bronze Age Marvel Mayhem. I'm not sure if I already own this or not. I'll have to look in my long box. But Daredevil, King Size Annual number 4. You have a triple threat match between Submariner, the Black Panther, and Daredevil. How do you not buy this comic when you come across it? I don't know. Continuing on in the bronze, The Incredible Hulk number 161 versus the block-busting beast. Back for another one of those block-busting beasts. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. But I believe when this book was published, the main X-Men title was in reprints, I believe. Don't quote me. But I want to say that they were in reprints, and the X-Men characters with their villains were being kind of pimped out to other Marvel publications, probably so that the properties didn't collect dust, and to keep them into the consciousness of the Marvel Comics buying community, I guess. So, yeah, anytime I've never seen an issue where the Hulk and Beast face off against each other. It was a really nice high grade. I want to say that this also contains the death of Mimic, which was an X-Men villain. So really cool. As I've said before, there are most of the focus for the Incredible Hulk goes for Hulk 102, 180, 181, the first Rocket Raccoon, but there are quite a few great Hulk Bronze Age issues that are worth picking up, at least in my opinion. Fantastic Four number 92. I am still picking up these woefully and thankfully. Let me just adjust this a little bit. There we go. Woefully underpriced Fantastic Four Silver Age issues. This is probably a very fine minus, and I paid less than $20 for this. That just seems wrong to me, but yet so right. So, yes, whoever's out there, continue to chase those variants. Buy 5 copies of them, never read them, and continue to ignore the Fantastic Four and the Silver Age, and I will thank you for it. Marvel Premiere number 2, The Power of Adam Warlock. Oh yeah. I already own number 1, and I want to say if I just buy Warlock from his ongoing series, issues 2 through 8, I will have the complete Adam Warlock Bronze Age run, which would be pretty damn cool for me because Adam Warlock is one of my favorite all-time Marvel characters. Definitely a top 10. The Invaders, number 1. Another Bronze Age goodie that I've been buying from that collection that I've been buying off of for the last, 2 or 3 months now. And like I said, it's a collection that just keeps on giving. Best of both worlds, man. A bunch of Bronze Age goodies that were on my list, some that weren't, and some other stuff that I've been able to upgrade. So, Invaders number 1, I used to own this as, oh God, going back to the 5th, 6th grade era. And this was a back issue this was a back issue back when I bought it back then. And back then you could buy like tons of Bronze Age issues that were canceled. Once a title was canceled back then, it was dead in the water and there was basically no interest for it. So if you were just going in and you wanted to collect a title, look for something that had been canceled. That's how I ended up getting, copies of the Invaders and Tomb of Dracula, Captain Marvel back in the day, because they were canceled titles and there was really no interest in them. But as time goes on, there's a bunch of interest where it comes to Bronze Age titles now, and all I can say about that is about time. So Invaders number 1, always good to it's always a good feeling when you can add a book back into your collection that you traded away when you were younger. I'm going to end it off with a couple of upgrades. So I came across this probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. DC Comics Presents number 47. This is the first appearance of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This is, inner child stuff for me. My main 3 toy lines as a child were Star Wars, Masters of the Universe, and G.I. Joe. And I don't know what was the last toy line that I ever collected. It was either Masters of the Universe or G.I. Joe. It was around the same era. But love this stuff. And I guess there is going to be a Masters of the Universe movie coming down the pipe. Please let it be better than the one that came out in the 80s. God, they wouldn't have to try that hard. But I already own a copy of this, but it was probably just a fine. It had a dog ear at the bottom, which really bothers me. Dog ears, chips, loose staples, those are the things that really irk me, and I try to avoid it at any cost when I can. But I came across this for like $30. Not as good as some other deals that I've seen on YouTube, but for $30, and this book, you don't really see it in the wild that much in my area. So, and this thing is, look at the colors on it. They were just popping. So I was like, awesome. Picked it up, brought it home, put it into my light, and I noticed up here there's like a small little indentation. You can't see it until you're right on it, but I know it's there. So anyway, I go back to the same comic book shop the next week, and what do they have there again? Because the guy that collector ended up selling another increment of his collection to this guy. Another copy, and this one's only $20. Now, I'm not usually big into comic book hoarding, but I looked at this, and this one is basically flawless. But as you can tell, the colors do not pop as much as they do on this one. So Hey, it is what it is. So I ended up getting 2 copies of this comic for $50 combined. And I think I am done now with DC Comics Presents number 47. They still do have a couple more upgrades that I'd like to pick up. They have an upgrade of that first appearance of Isis that I just actually picked it up probably about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and he ended up getting another copy, and this one's in even better condition and at the same price I bought the last one. And there's also a first appearance of Carnage newsstand copy there too that I'm thinking about adding to the collection. So, but we'll see. I have a couple of really good books coming in the next upcoming hauls that I'm really looking forward to showing you all. So, but yeah, I guess that'll be it for this week. I will see you all next week. Enjoy the weather out there, and enjoy your comics. Take it easy. See ya.